Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hi, this is Ryan Koch, and welcome to the Ryan Koch Show. Today on the show we have somebody who's believed to be the smartest man on the earth. A physicist from London, England, the man himself, Mr. Stephen Hawking. Good afternoon, Mr. Hawking. How are you?
I'm fine. And yourself?
Can't complain. So, Stephen, is it okay if I call you Stephen?
You can call me whatever you want, babe.
Okay, great. So, Stephen, there's so much to talk about when it comes to your greatness. Might as well start from the beginning. Would you like to tell us about your childhood?
I was born on the 8th of January, 1942, just outside of London, England. I grew up in a very intellectual family, considering my father was a physician, and my mother was an activist in the Liberal Party. I had a great interest in science since a very young age. When I was 16, my friends and I built a primitive computer that actually worked.
You must have been a bright young lad.
I most certainly was.
So, Mr. Hawking, where did you go to school at?
Well, I won a scholarship to Oxford University, where I got my degree with honors. I then went to Cambridge University, where I got my PhD in cosmology.
What actually is cosmology?
Cosmology is the study of the universe as a whole, its structure, origin, and development.
What was it that made you want to take physics in university, though, Mr. Hawking?
To be honest, I didn't even want to take physics. My true interest was in mathematics. Unfortunately, there wasn't a program for mathematics at Oxford University, so I settled for physics. Although now I do not regret taking physics, because of all I have learned and discovered about the whole world and outer space.
So, Mr. Hawking, how does ALS affect your day-to-day life?
I am quite often asked, how do you feel about having ALS? The answer is, not a lot. I try to lead as normal a life as possible, and not think about my condition, or regret the things it prevents me from doing, which are not that many.
For those at home who don't know, what actually is ALS, and what does it stand for?
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a progressive, fatal, neurodegenerative disease caused by the degeneration of motor neurons, the nerve cells in the central nervous system that control voluntary muscle movement. The condition is often called Lou Gehrig's disease in North America, after the New York Yankees baseball icon, who was diagnosed with the disease in 1939 and died from it in 1941 at age 37.
As a child, you did not have ALS, did you? If so, when approximately did you start to notice this change in your physical ability to use your muscles?
No, I did not have ALS as a kid. It was not until my 21st birthday that I started to notice the effect of it. A year later, I got tested and was a confirmed case of ALS.
Oh yeah? How does that make you feel, though?
The realization that I had an incurable disease that was likely to kill me in a few years was a bit of a shock.
So, Mr. Hawking, tell us a bit about your discoveries that you've made.
I have made many discoveries related to black holes, Ryan. Back in the early 1970s, I discovered a form of thermal radiation that is predicted to be emitted from black holes due to quantum effects. I have actually named this radiation Hawking radiation after myself. This Hawking radiation actually emits mass from black holes because energy has mass and mass has energy. Therefore, it is actually possible for the size of a black hole to decrease when still having such a great pulling force on all matter. A few years later, I actually concluded that black hole can leak energy and particles into space, and they could even explode. After a few more years, I concluded that the radiation escaping from these black holes gives no information about matter inside the black hole, and once the hole disappears, all the information goes with it. With Roger Penrose, I showed that Einstein's general theory of relativity implied space and time would have a beginning in the Big Bang and an end in black holes. These results indicated that it was necessary to unify general relativity with quantum theory, so throughout my life, I have made many discoveries related to cosmology, and mainly black holes. These are just a few.
I hear you've won many awards for your discoveries, haven't you? Would you like to name a few of those and just tell us what they are? I'm sure people would love to hear about them.
In my life, I have received over 14 awards and honors for my research. My favorites being the Albert Einstein Medal back in 1979, which is an award that is presented to people who have rendered outstanding services in connection with Albert Einstein each year, along with becoming a commander in the Order of the British Empire in 1982. My most recent award being the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian honor in the United States.
And, what accomplishments do you feel have you made throughout your life?
Aside from the awards I have received, I have written many books and journals about my studies in cosmology. My most well-known books are A Brief History in Time, which I wrote in 1988, and The Universe in a Nutshell. They were both bestsellers on the New York Times bestseller list, and A Brief History in Time was actually on it for a record-breaking 237 weeks. A Brief History of Time attempts to explain a range of subjects in cosmology, including the Big Bang, black holes, and light cones, to the non-specialist reader. Its main goal is to give an overview of the subject, but unusual for a popular science book, it also attempts to explain some complex mathematics. The Universe in a Nutshell explains to a general audience various matters relating to the Lacasian professor's work, such as Gödel's incompleteness theorem and P-branes. It tells the history and principles of modern physics.
So, Stephen, we have recently noticed you've been making guest appearances in animated shows such as The Simpsons and Family Guy, along with a partner commercial for Discovery Channel. I believe we have a clip.
Oh, that's okay, Joe. You can still win this thing.
That was pathetic. Tell your wife to come over to my place if she wants a little boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Boom.
Peter.
If you are looking for trouble, you found it.
Yeah, just try me, you.
I must say, you have become a very famous person. How does it feel to be a celebrity physicist?
It is very nice to be known as a celebrity physicist for the work I have done. Unfortunately, more people know me by my disability and my voice synthesizer as opposed to my studies. But I guess I can't complain.
I'd love to hear more about your life, Mr. Hawking, but I'm afraid we're just about out of time for today. We're going to have to call it quits. And thanks for coming on the show. We'd love to have you on again. We had a great experience, but it's the end of the show. For I and all the other producers and crews for the Ryan Koch Show, I bid you good day.
You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
What? Stay like that. Hey.